to World of Women podcast. Today is December the 28th. Wow, how time flies. We have 3 more days left in December. Isn't that incredible? Are we excited?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Great. So last week we were all talking about, the different diversity on how we celebrate, especially Christmas, Hanukkah, and some people that celebrate other stuff like Kwanzaa and so forth. And it was a rich sharing. Those of us who were here could testify that we really enriched one another with a lot of information on how our experiences of celebrating Christmas and other festivity periods have been. So today we are looking at the New Year resolution. As we all know, New Year is going to be here in 3 days. And if you're like me, the idea of having a fresh start is incredibly exciting. This is a time that we all line up certain commitments that we want to take for ourselves, and sometimes for other people, especially if we're responsible for them. And when we look at New Year's resolutions, so many people take different steps in the new year. Some people want to lose weight. Some people want to buy a new car. Some want to get rid of their old houses. Some want to have a changing career. Some want to have start a family, reconciliation, all kinds of things. Some other people want to travel. These are all different types of resolutions we take in the new year. And they're all great. And some of us give real deep thought to our resolutions and feel that's just fly by the seat of their pants. And it's all good because we're all different. This evening, I would like us to take a moment and reflect on the New Year's resolutions we are embarking on for 2022. 2022 has triple twos in it. And that for people who are into astrology is very meaningful. And what I would like us to explore in 2022 are those personal needs, family needs, and the global needs, the community needs that are out there glaring at all of us. And when one embarks on New Year's resolutions, it could be 1 or 2 or 3 or 10, depending on your capability. It doesn't really matter. But when I was reflecting on what New Year's resolutions, for me, what that means, there are a few questions that came to mind. These are some of the questions that I asked myself. And you may also have similar questions for yourself as well. How did I come about the resolutions I was taking? The resolutions that I've decided to embark on 2022, how did I come about it? How am I going to track it? Do I have any plans? Do I have any daily diary or getting a friend to keep me accountable or, being in a circle of a community or professional, organizations or any kind of space that will really keep me accountable, encourage me, support me to carry out my New Year's resolutions? Another question that is critical is that really something I even want to share with other people? Or are those resolutions, am I keeping them to myself? And if I'm doing either, I need to also reflect on it and find out, if I keep them to myself, what are the chances of me missing out or even dropping out? And if I share with other people, am I going to be able to stand the nudging, the encouragement, and even the support that would be offered to me? How open am I to it? Who is in my circle, like I said, that will keep me accountable? This is very critical for all of us, because we naturally, we tend to start stuff and then life happens. And before you know it, people are already behind in all the stuff they have committed to due to other unforeseen circumstances. And we need to be aware of that, because that's the part of our reality. So I have actually reflected as well on my previous year, which meant the end of 2020, when I took some New Year's resolutions into 2021. And I was kind of asking myself, how committed was I to those resolutions? First of all, can I still remember how many resolutions I took at the beginning of 2021? How many of them did I keep? Was I faithful to? And if I did accomplish some of them, how proud am I? And how can I actually share with my friends and family of my accomplishments, of those goals that I set for myself, 2021? And if I, by any chance, and as well, life goes and happens, I wasn't able to stay faithful to those resolutions, why and how can I make up? Resolutions are the activities we engage in for our own good. And when resolutions that really invite us or challenge us come our way, the tendency, if we don't get the support that we need, the tendency to fall off is pretty high. And so this evening, I will invite us to reflect, like I said earlier, on our New Year's resolutions for 2022. About what we want to do, how do we want to do it, what are the skills that are needed to implement those resolutions. For me, I have reflected a whole lot about my call, my ministry, and I have found out for myself that communication is one of the critical gifts that I have, and I've been called and challenged to develop in different ways. It's still unfolding in my life. But one thing I have thought about, and I'm still grappling with that, is how do I communicate the truth or have a conversation with other people without causing offense? In today's world, people tend to get upset when you talk about the truth, when you talk about the situation, whether it's in your family situation, community situation, in the healthcare sector, in politics, in the church. Many people don't want to hear it. Yet we are being mandated by scripture, by God, by the creator, by higher power, to live a truthful and honest life for ourselves and for the world. And that includes being truthful, being open, and being realistic to even me, beginning with my thought process, the way I eat, who I relate with, how I communicate, how I take care of myself and take care of my surroundings, the environment. So these are very sensitive areas that when each one of us at the beginning of a new year, we say, this is what we want to commit ourselves to. Let us recognize the significance of the commitment we are making and ask ourselves, where can I gather resources that will really help me to accomplish these commitments? Is that something I have to reach out to a friend, a neighbor, the community? Where can I find support? Who is in my company that is very resourceful? Who actually am I being assigned to support? These are critical questions that I invite us to reflect and to share at our comfort level. And I'm not sure whether Emily, do we have people in the breakout room?
Yep.
I think pretty much what I wanted to share about that is done, and I'm really open to each one of us who feels, encouraged to come forward and please share. What have you thought about your New Year's resolutions? Are there things that you want to share with us? How important are they to you and your family or your circle? And how do you want to move forward? And what support would you be looking for, especially in this circle? The World of Women have always emphasized it's an interesting and exciting world. Many women do not recognize how incredibly gifted we are. And we must live as women who have been gifted. And every gift is for sharing. How am I sharing my gifts? How have you been sharing your gifts? And please, I'm opening it up. Feel free to share. Thank you. Emily, are we all here?
Yep, I should be all here.
Okay. Has anybody thought about New Year's resolution at all? Since we have 3 more days, I don't know whether some of us are waiting till the last minute to come up with the resolutions.
No, don't everybody start talking at once.
I'll start.
Okay.
I have a little challenge with resolutions and goal setting because it's become apparent in my life that more and more my life is God-led. I can say what I want to do in a year, but I find like this last year, so many things happen totally beyond my control. And I'm so blessed in so many ways that I'm questioning the setting of goals other than meditation time, stillness time, get closer to God. So I hear when God talks to me. Having said that, the meditation is my number one priority, to do that every morning and every night. I have been lacking sometimes because I feel if I don't have half an hour or an hour, I'm not doing anything, rather than just take 5 or 10 or 15 minutes instead of, opting out. Goals. I do have 2 major goals for the coming year, and that is all dental work taken care of and major travel the second half of the year. I have family in the Netherlands. I have children in Australia and New Zealand. And we hope to go to Nigeria also during the year. So that's me for now.
Thank you so much, Johannes, for sharing. And yes, whatever one does in life, especially for me, I can't function without prayer, meditation, reflection. I guess that's actually how I get my energy. The energy that helps me, propels me in whatever activity that I'm being called to perform. I must get the energy I need. And I believe strongly in the power of prayer and meditation. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else?
I'll go ahead and share. Oh, go ahead.
Someone's hand is up. Kate, you want to say something?
Well, I'll offer it unless you had something else that you want to do.
No, someone's hand is up. That's why I was asking.
Anuli.
Yeah,
go ahead. Let's
go ahead, unmute yourself, Angela. She's my sister-in-law. Unmute yourself. I know. Unmute yourself. I don't know if she's hearing us or not. Oh, she says she can't unmute. Yeah, she says she can't unmute. Huh, that's strange. Okay, so
but
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I guess I kind of attach myself to the premise of helping each other be the best versions of ourselves, and health goals are always good in terms of diet and exercise and things like that. And I guess I look at the capacity to be what I might call a responsible human or a responsible person on earth. I think that what we do by ourselves and with each other, I think we are deeply intertwined, and what we do affects each other. And so, there's the opportunity to be of greater service, potentially, depending on how we're doing ourselves. So for me, I think of the different parts of life. I break it down to faith life, service life, being a lifelong learner, being a citizen, and, maybe what we do in business or occupation, or being productive in whatever fashion, and then, doing fun things. So I think of that too, to resolve to make sure we're having fun and enjoying the time of our life, and to have some laughter. And there's practitioners of laughter yoga and stuff like this. So I guess when I think of 2022 and New Year's resolutions and what I resolve. I think it's going to be a lot of carryover of the same old stuff, but I think New Year's resolutions help us to think about, how is 2022 going to be different than 2021? And I go a lot, recent years, there's a friend who says, he just goes with what he's got. And I think that's a little bit of a guiding force for me, that I think of with doing this podcasting and other roles that I play in my life. Am I really harnessing what others bring to me and being a listener and being, like you talked about, Zita, communicating? Am I communicating the things that, fuels other people's lives, or am I just, enjoying hearing myself communicate, or just doing stuff for my own reasons and not making those connections? So I guess 2022, when you think of 2020, COVID and the pandemic, and, having to come back to ourselves and, find a different way to live our days. And then, we're kind of trying to find this new normal and trying to figure out, how we're going to live the immediate future, the year and few years ahead. And I really find that it comes to us togetherness. Like right now, we got 11 of us on Zoom for the World of Women podcast. So this is tremendous opportunity right here in this hour. So I guess that's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now, is, to resolve to be better connected. I guess 2022, the year of being connected. Let's look at it that way.
I like that. The year of being connected. Yes. And more, our world is kind of gently nudging us to get more connected, because we are connected beings. That's how we are made by nature. Some of the brainwashing and everything else that we have been taught have really created a significant barrier in our lives. So much so that people think that connecting with others is a taboo. But with COVID and with other health threats and with other environmental hazards that we experience globally, one can really deduce what the message is about there. Connecting with one another, respecting each other, respecting our nature, and really approaching life in a communal manner, knowing that whatever hurts me hurts you, or whatever hurts someone in the East hurts the other person in the West. I feel strongly that we're being called at this day in age, 21st century, to get more connected. And that's the only way we can really solve most of the difficult problems the world is going through right now. Think about COVID, as you rightly pointed out, Kat, what is going on? It got to take a whole village, a whole community, a whole global movement to get this under control. You can't try to put all the segregations or separations. It won't do it, because whatever is in the air, you can't control. You can only control it through human, collective effort and collective reasoning. And that is pretty important for each and every one of us individually, as well as collectively. Thanks so much for sharing. Anyone else?
It looks like a newly disconnected and reconnected, and so I don't know if newly can unmute now.
Yeah. Angeli, can you unmute yourself now? I'm not sure if she's still here with us. She said no.
no.
I wonder what's going on.
Good. Do you have any solutions? I thought going out and coming back in would help, but
I think she did go out and she came back, but I don't think that fixed this problem. Okay, while she's trying, anyone else want to ask questions, make comments? Just feel free to do that, please. I have also heard some friends talk about maybe in a joking manner, and they're like, well, the New Year's resolutions and goal setting is like checking a box. You just, do that, and then whatever happens, happens. If you achieve your goal, great. If you don't, so be it. And for me, I don't think that's an intentional way of living. I don't know what anyone else thinks about that. It sounded like a joke, but I took it seriously because I don't think any one of us can really live life like that intentionally. Doretta, you have something to say?
Hello,
Hi, can you, okay, yeah, you're mute, yeah,
can you hear me now?
yes.
I work on a lot of different projects, and I'm very much into my church ministry. I'm part of a church called Petra International Ministries from Pittsburgh, PA, and I serve and covering over the Forever Young Senior Ministry. And just recently, me and an elder and a minister, we got together and we made up a plan. Because of the pandemic, a lot of our seniors who are already isolated, but Sundays were one of the days they could get out, come to church and have fellowship, and a lot of times we would take different ones out to have dinner afterwards. But we made a plan for the upcoming year, and I could tell you a little bit about that because I just did this. As I said, the ministry is called Forever Young, and our mission is to encourage and support and improve the influence and experiences of the aging. And the group of people that we serve are 65 years and older. And while connecting the five adult generations to each other, strengthening the bond in spiritual family, and honoring God. Some of our goals are weekly telephone calls, assessing who needs prayer, encouragement, and we've been doing this since the pandemic. We have different ones that we have assignments to, and we call them on a weekly basis just to see how they're doing, what they need. I myself and some of the other ministers have taken out groceries and different things, especially at the beginning, whenever they were saying that seniors especially should not be out. I was shopping for them and just keeping them connected and letting them know that someone cares. We do communion monthly, and being that they're at home and not able to get out, we would take the communion out to them, and they still would be able to do that. We started a newsletter, and at our church, we try to keep the youth and young adults connected with the seniors because there's so much wisdom and knowledge that the seniors share. And it also keeps the young people with the wisdom and knowledge, and the seniors seeing what's happening with the young and the youth. what they call it, Generation X and the millennials. We also have a plan to do some Zoom workshops with the elderly and making sure that they have all the technology and things connected. A lot of the elderly, we found, even though we're on the screen and on the computer virtually, they did not have the understanding and technology. So we were going out to help them in that fashion. Our pastor, Bishop Clay, does CDs from each of the virtual services. And I went out and I found a lot of people didn't even have a CD player, that we were giving the CDs for no cost at all, but they had nothing to play them on. So we ended up buying a couple of CD players for some of the seniors. We continue to share God's unchanging hand and through all of our lives, even though we're walking through a pandemic. We prepared a buddy system. I take quite a few seniors to doctor's appointments, and some of them are capable of going, but they need an advocate because they don't always understand everything that the doctor is instructing them to do, or things about the medication, or sometimes they don't ask some of the questions that they have on their mind for the doctor when they're there. So I started a sort of a program of going in, filling up their medicine boxes and making a list each time we go to a doctor appointment. We've had a lot of different programs when it wasn't COVID, but we're trying to still keep things going for them, and just healthy aging, physical health, spiritual health, emotional, mental health, social health, healthy behavior choices, and financial health. So basically, post-pandemic, our goals and activities are making new friends, learning new skills, eating healthier, participating in social activities and fellowship that are allowed, embracing volunteerism, referral services, wellness for life, selecting and preparing advocates. We're a small group, but we're trying to train others to come alongside and that they can do it. And everybody wins because you're helping someone, and just being in their lives, that helps you as well. Safety in the home, that's a biggie, because going out and visiting just recently, because we make senior bags every year during the holiday season, because there's a lot of seniors that don't have family members here, and right now not being able to travel. So we put a gift bag together for them with some health care items and also educational items for the things that they should be doing during this COVID to stay healthy and safe. We have an emergency contact sheet. We prepare and help them if they want wheels. And we started something called 5 Wishes, because sometimes people don't want you to just come in and, let's do a wheel, but what are your wishes? Because there's a lot of people that have no will, and in the church, being in leadership, we have to sometimes do the funeral and everything, and we don't know what their wishes are. So we just started 5 Wishes, where they can actually tell us what they would like if they were to pass on. We have done fun trips and outings. We've gone to theater where they did Moses and a lot of the biblical things up in, it's Lancaster, I believe, where we were. But those kind of things we have on hold until we're able to do that again. Even things to keep them active brain-wise, puzzles, word search, and arts and crafts. We do those kind of things. A lot of them like to write about their life. So we got quite a few into poetry writing and reading, and we do storytelling and they share about the things that they have experienced in their lives. And we do Bible study. And then after we've studied, we ask questions and find out what they've gotten from each of the studies that we do. But those are just some of the things that we are planning for the new year, and some of the things that we have done and continue to do.
Thank you so much, Doretta, for sharing. I really applaud your the activities you guys are engaged in. It's holistic approach to life. All that you have, shared with us here, they're all geared towards helping the individual, the community, and that really spills to our globe, so, and that also ties with what Kat shared, and like helping each other, health goals, listening, communicating, and stuff like that. So that they are really critical needs that all of us will love to embark on and do our best to make sure that we, accomplish that in the new year. And I know, like, what has transpired in the past year, and no one can for sure predict what's going to happen in 2022, but we can always hope for the best, praying and trusting God for the best, and knowing that there are roles that we human beings are expected to play, and making sure that whatever happens, that we are all secure, we're all supportive of one another, that we do what is humanly possible to support each other, live life to the fullest. So I appreciate what you do and what your church does to make this happen among both the young and the not so young. So thank you so much, Doretta.
Oh, you're welcome. And what you were saying is it's very important during these times to stay connected.
Yes. So anyone else want to share what's going on in their mind? Any critical plans or initiatives they want to embark on? Or stuff they want to let go of? I was actually talking to one of my friends it was yesterday. She called me. I didn't really expect the call. She called and she wanted to know how I was doing, how my Christmas was and stuff like that. And I did mention to her in the process, I invited her to the podcast. I shared a few topics that I would like her, if she was open to it, to sign up. And because I realized she has some expertise in some of the topics we just listed for next year. And one thing she frankly shared with me was that she has two girls that are really growing fast. She's a single mom. And of course, she has a full-time job. And she's an immigrant and struggling with, survival and stuff like that, education and all that for her kids. And she said to me, honestly, that she was trying to unpack certain things in her life that she never had the opportunity to, unpack until COVID hit. And right now, she was actually trying to reduce some of her commitments. And that's one of her New Year's goal, is to reduce some of the stuff she has taken on that have really burdened her to the point that she was compromising her family. So that could also be something. It doesn't have to be us taking on new stuff, but also reflecting and asking ourselves, where are we really going overboard? Where are we doing too much to the point that we're compromising our health, our family, even the environment? So those are critical questions that we need to answer for ourselves. So I had I think last week we did share that beginning in January, we'll have about 12 topics that I would like us to explore. I have reached out to some women, still reaching out to more women with expertise on some of those topics to see, invite them to sign up and do some presentations and speak on some of those topics. I know that critical topics, there are issues that women deal with, and there are also opportunities that encourage women that they can take advantage of, that can really transform their life. And we need people in, for example, women in healthcare, women in cosmetology, women entrepreneurs, just to mention a few. Like I said, there are up to 12 topics. So please, we will also put that up. I don't know if to put it up. If not, we will be sending those information again and encourage you to please sign up. If you know anyone who has the expertise, please invite them to sign up and let us know. So far, we've gotten a couple of people who would be taking up next, the next one will be January 4th. We have someone for that and another one. So please, we are, I'm pleading with all of us. If you have the expertise, come forward. This is the only way we can enrich one another, is through sharing our gifts, sharing who we are, sharing our joy, sharing our challenges, and collectively finding resources that will really help us to achieve our goal. So I will be sending the information and the list again. And also our link remains the same. We will not be changing our link. That remains the same, and it helps to, for consistency. And please feel free to share the link with your friends, with your family. We need more people to attend this podcast. We need more women to join us and really expand our vision, expand, our goal to be who we're called to be, and to enrich our world with that love, with the gifts we've been endowed with. So does anyone have anything else to add? Or is that all for today? And I'm so excited that, we have this many people joining us. That's really progress. Anyone else? Okay. So I will also be sending out a phone number and other contact critical information that people can, use to reach us. And Emily and Kat have more updates as well for us. So thank you so much for attending, and I wish all of you a very happy new year, full of blessings. And I look forward to seeing you next week, Tuesday. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
New Year,
New Year.
y'all.
Everyone, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to
Happy
all.
New Year.
Thank you.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.